Am I the idiot for throwing my siblings in foster care so I can have a better life? I have roughly too many siblings and even more step-siblings. Between my parents and my latest stepfather, we had 8 kids living here. Me, 19 female, 3 half-siblings on my mom's side, 15, 11, and 9, 4 step-siblings, 14, 12, 9, and 6, and 1 full sister, 6, female. Things have never been particularly good or stable, but now we're at rock bottom. My mother and stepfather are going to be going away for a long time, and everyone is in a rush to get all these kids into foster homes. I'm the only one who's over 18, so everyone wants me to do it. I don't want to. I'd gotten an opportunity. My grandma on my father's side offered to have the 6-year-old girl and me move in with her, and even pay for me to go to college. The thing is, she lives several states away. I talked to social services about this and got the answer that I could move the 6-year-old girl without a problem because our parents were able to voluntarily give me guardianship of her and I'm her full sister. The rest I could only take in if I stayed in this state because they would be a full foster care placement though. I'm sorry, but being forced to stay here would destroy my future. I could definitely survive, but I would be stuck in this horrible place working paycheck to paycheck. I could never have a real life. I made the obvious choice. The social workers were nice enough to arrange it to where the 6-year-old and I weren't just standing in front of them during the pickup, but obviously, they know exactly why they're now in care. The 4 of them that have phones have been texting and calling me non-stop. Some of them for help, and some to just scream at me for abandoning them. I know the system is going to be really bad for them because of where they are and their ages, but I just can't do it. I can't blow this. This is mine and the 6-year-old's first chance at a real life, and I feel like I owe it to both of us to take it. Am I in the wrong here? The kids and my mom think I am. My grandma thinks I should have done something, but can't say what and wouldn't let them in her house even if it could happen. The only person who doesn't think worse of me is the 6-year-old girl who says she likes the quiet, but obviously doesn't know the full story. The replies, "Not the idiot. Your siblings should be mad at your parents, not you. They were the ones putting everyone in this position. You are 19. In no way can or should you be a parent to that many kids. Don't fault yourself. You were put in this situation too, not just them. Good luck to all of you. And the half-siblings and the step-siblings, there should be other parents and grandparents who could take them in. The full sibling is the only one where there isn't another parent, and it sounds like the grandparent is stepping up for her and you. Not the idiot." Second reply. Exactly what stuck out to me too. The half-siblings presumably have a father out there, and the step-siblings have a mother. Even if those parents are also out of the picture for whatever reason, I assume they have families. So that means not a single adult from 4 possible families was willing to step up for any of the kids? And yet they all judge the 19-year-old for not doing it? I feel for those kids and I don't blame them for being upset, but it's shitty that mom and everyone else is encouraging them to direct that anger at Op. This is not her fault at all. Op replies, "I don't know where any of the extended families are except mine and the 6-year-old girl. I wasn't close to either of the fathers of my half-siblings. If I ever met their families, it was maybe once. My mom's family aren't people I would go see voluntarily." Third reply. I have some involvement in the foster care system in my country. It is absolutely amazing how often desperate social workers will try to come up with a kinship care solution that a 5-year-old could see would never work. The problem is that the system is in crisis, there aren't enough foster carers, and social workers have caseloads that are too high. So, in desperation, they will try to stitch together some kinship, family care plan that usually falls apart in a couple of months. There is no way in the world that an 18-year-old should ever be approved to take on 6 or 7 children. It should never even have been offered as an option to you because you don't have the capacity to raise those children and care for them. You made the right choice. It's heartbreaking, but it's right. Fourth reply. Not the idiot. This is a horrific situation that your family has put you in. You didn't throw the kids into foster care, your parents' actions did, and it's awful that your other family members are trying to pressure you into caring for all these siblings. Like, excuse them, they give you an awful childhood and then they do something that sounds like it ended them up in prison, and now they're mad at you for not caring for their children? Fork that. You did not create this awful situation. Your parents chose to have children they cannot care for. This is 100% on them. If you stayed, it's likely all of you would have lived a life of poverty. You and your sister now have a chance. And in time you may be able to help guide your step-siblings. But this is just too much for you. Please live your life. Will I be the idiot if I said my co-worker's brother's death wasn't a tragedy, due to how preventable it was? Last week has been quite a disaster for my coworker, 30 female. You can call her Allie, etc. But anyway, I remember her being confident and content the day we went into work. Her brother Rhett, 26 male, would end up falling off a roof of his house hours later. From what I've heard, he was conscious at the time of the hit and believed he was okay and that he felt fine, so he didn't call emergency services. Turns out he was really messed up internally and died, and when I found out Allie's brother died, I was in shock and saddened by her loss. I couldn't imagine losing a sibling. However, when I heard more information, I couldn't help but think he was reckless. What was he doing on the roof? Why didn't he just call for emergency services just in case? If that was me, I would have definitely have done that, especially knowing something like this could put my family through grief and sorrow if it ended fatally. It was unfortunate that they had to lose him, but when I think of tragedy, he's just not what I think of. Careless and reckless deaths don't belong in the same context of tragedy as other types of deaths. Now, I would never ever say this to Allie, but I've considered venting this to other friends or coworkers, but I just don't know if they would see my point or not. Many of the coworkers especially seem like the type who would disagree with my stance, but it only makes me feel it stronger in a sense. A reason why this would come off as idiot-type behavior is that Rhett was a minimum wage worker from lower-class income, and he may have just decided to let it go because he was afraid of being in steep medical debt if he went to the hospital. I do see the point of how class would have an effect on his death, but I don't know if that was really his reasoning. I don't know him well and I'm not a minimum wage worker. Would just simply venting to someone I knew who knew Allie or Rhett, other than Allie, be out of line, or is it okay? The replies. You would honestly be the world's biggest idiot. Seriously. Don't gatekeep someone else's grief. Just keep your mouth shut. You are the idiot. Second reply. You are the idiot. Why would you even have a stance on whether or not it's a tragedy? It's tragic to his family, therefore it's a tragedy. Whether you think it was preventable or not. Find something else to spend your mental energies on. For God's sake, don't go gossiping to your coworkers that you think your other coworker's brother's death wasn't tragic enough for you. Third reply. He should go give his take to his coworkers. They'd find out how much of a hole he really is, and he would be completely ostracized. Fourth reply. He likely deserves it, at that. I get the feeling this isn't their first bad take. But, would add extra ire onto what his coworker is already feeling for the death of her brother. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Imagine losing a loved one and then hearing this BS from some douche noodle at work. Fifth reply. Yeah, this dude sounds like a huge jerk. Probably has his whole personality revolving around, I'm just being honest and you can't handle the truth, and, not my fault, I'm smarter than everyone else and have a wider perspective. Then wonders why no one likes him. And, you're right. While it might be enjoyable for us to see him get his comeuppance, it would really suck for her. Unless he tells his coworkers, they realize what a D-bag he is, treat him like shit, and they never tell her why. Win-win. You are the idiot, whether he called M's or not, doesn't mean his death wasn't tragic. Not everyone calls when something happens, and often people call too much. People think they're okay, that doesn't mean they deserve to die. You really should voice all of this to her, however, just so everyone knows what a shitty person you are. Updates. Mishap equals tragedy. I feel immensely bad for her that his mishap is making her this way. But letting emotions control rationality is wrong, and I just need a place to politely tell other people, not her, about how this is really messing things up. She's slacking in work and I'm doing our workplace a favor.
Thanks for watching.
Please like and subscribe.